Hello everyone and welcome to a speed renovation in The Sims 2. This is the first time I've ever done one of these and I thought, you know what, I'm going to start playing Sims 2 again soon and I thought I would chuck out a reno that I've been planning on doing for a while. I've actually been playing, no, I haven't done it recently, but the last time I played The Sims 2, I played the Beakers, and of course I needed to renovate their okay house. Like I don't mind it. It's just got it's weird and it's base game. So no, it's not completely weird. It's got weird aspects to it and it's base game. So one of the first things I like to do when I play this family is actually renovate the house. Um, Now, with the budget, you can. I think I'm going to. Well, I haven't actually named this video yet, but I'm pretty much certain I'm going to call it Beakers on a Budget because I'm renovating the house pretty much with the money that they have. I think I've already played it past Cersei getting a promotion. Played the household past Cersei getting a promotion, and I think Loki may have been to work once. So yeah, in terms of budget, it's going to be a bit tight. And throughout this build, you'll see me make some choices that really do they are a result of the money situation. So starting with the exterior here, I'm working on the windows. Now these windows, I can outright say that I don't stick with them. They just didn't quite fit the build in my opinion, especially like being on brick. Um, I don't know. They just didn't feel right in the end. I mean, when I first started putting them on, I was like, oh yeah, they look okay. I choose the wood tone that I chose here, and then I end up changing it because it was kind of clashing with the interior wood tones that I wanted to go with. So it didn't really work out in the end. But yeah, so don't get too comfortable with those windows because they will be changing. But yeah, basically this part of the build, I'm just more or less focusing on the exterior. Um, in terms of how detailed I was able to make this build, I wasn't able to go too far in terms of like clutter and extensions and anything like that. The shell of the build is pretty much the same, and yeah, I mean, the floor plan more or less stays the same. I kind of just close off some rooms. Um, I think I add a room. Do I? I'll soon find out. Um, but yeah, what am I doing now? I'm still on in terms of this bathroom here. Like I was thinking of making that little turret bathroom a bit bigger, so I tried to put on a almost like an extension of the turret on the right there with some windows, and then it was kind of looking funny, so I didn't quite settle with it. I feel like the turret on the Beaker's house is quite iconic, so I wanted to keep that. And this little extension that I made there just wasn't really working, and then I was kind of a bit conscious of the money that I was using, so away it goes. And I mean, yeah, like I said, with the budget, I had to kind of go around the house and kind of get rid of a lot of things that were unnecessary. I mean, they've got like 100 million of those urn things around the house, so I got rid of most of those. I shrunk I guess the front porch, and yeah, and changed a lot of this fencing to the shorter one, especially well, mainly for the lower floors. It doesn't really make sense to have a high fence on a on like a low foundation like that. And if it could give me more money, then I would take it. Right, so moving on to the interior floor plan. So, of course, closing off this room, changing up the stairs, and trying to figure out the perfect wood tone. It could be a little bit difficult in The Sims 2. I do rely on a lot of custom wood tones. Some of The Sims 2 wood tones are not to my liking. This kind of dark reddish wood, it looks good in some situations, but I couldn't quite get it to work this time. So I settle on it here, but it does change. And I decided to go for the classic Sims 2 orange wood tone for the foyer here. And it actually works quite well. and closing off the kitchen, moving the butler out of the way, because I do want them to have a separate dining room, and putting in some archways, getting rid of the archways that were on the exterior of the house. Like, they had no front door. It was basically 3 archways, which was just stupid. Um, Now I'm changing the color of the windows. I really should just cut this all out, but I mean, it's a learning process, and I mean, you can see the kind of changes that I made. But I stick with these windows, but I change, well, at this point in the build, I stick with the windows and I change the tone of the wood, because it was just, yeah, the first tone that I chose was clashing with the wood tones that I chose in the foyer. So yeah, had to change it up. Now changing the roof, that one little piece of roof there, and back to the interior. Now when I do build, I don't really stick to one kind of area. I just kind of do whatever kind of grabs my attention. So I work on this little hallway, and then I'm back and moving to the kitchen and dining. I do manage to save a lot of money by selling the wallpaper and the wall textures and all that, which is amazing. I mean, if only you could do that in real life, where you could, you're a bit skint one day, so you rip up some wallpaper and sell it. I did a lot of that in this build, which is it was a bit of a challenge, and you'll see me kind of at some points in the build pause for a little bit and go looking around the house for something I can sell. And surprisingly, they do have just, yeah, you'll see it when it comes. I managed to find some little hidden gems here and there that I could sell up. So for the dining wall, the dining room wallpaper, I really wanted something with a matching a Maxis matching, um, what is it called? Trim, and well, one that matched the hallway anyway. And I had a lot of trouble finding it, well, particularly in the color that I wanted. So I ended up going with a lot of kind of red and maroon and kind of, I guess, beige colors, which they work well together in my opinion. Not too unhappy about the colors that I settled on, although I was looking at reference photos and the colors were a bit different to the ones that I was looking at in the reference ones and the reference pictures. So yeah. Now the dining room, well, just to say quite bluntly, things are a little bit bare to start with. The budget just really does kind of limit my ability to really flesh out the build as much as I would like to. Now I am kind of playing the Strangetown rotationally, and I do like to kind of not cheat when I play. So I'm not going to give them money that they're not really entitled to. So it really is. It's just working with what they've got at the moment and making this house kind of playable for me, but without kind of causing me any stress from all the eyesores. Right, so the railing on the upstairs landing, and I think when I started doing this railing, I was like, oh, I'm not feeling this kind of, I don't know if it's mahogany, if that's the color, but it's that dark red, reddy brown kind of wood. So yeah, look, I end up changing it here, and settle on the kind of the orangey color, just because it went better with the floor and the well, I think that floor is actually really good. The one on the landing here is really good. It goes with a lot of wood tones. So, but the kind of the orangey wood that I chose went more with the wallpaper in the foyer and the landing. So the living room now, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out where everything should go, making use of their existing furniture, although I do switch out some things here and there. Love these Barrococo love seats. Or the whole furniture set. I mean, it's not my favorite furniture set, but it is quite quirky. And I mean, in terms of the style of build that I was going for, I am going for well, I was going for, no, I've already completed the build. I was going for like a Victorian style. Now, if any of you are watching my Sims 3 series, that shouldn't be a surprise to you because I am playing with a lot of Victorian kind of gameplay and builds. Um, or headcanon Victorian. It's not 100% accurate, but it's as accurate as I can make it in the game. But nonetheless, I've been really inspired by Victorian architecture and interior design and stuff. And so I'm trying to emulate that as much as I can in this build with the furniture that I have. Um, and so with Victorian kind of styles, it is quite quirky. Not, I wouldn't say it's like new age quirky or anything like that. It's just into like I can't really describe it really. It's busy, especially in like old manors and I guess Victorian mansions. They'll have like busy wallpaper or busy furniture coverings, um, busy fabric textures, and that kind of stuff. So I did want to kind of carry that over into this build. Now back to the foyer, and I'm looking for, oh my gosh, it took me so long to find the sideboard that I wanted. I really should cut this out, but I'm looking for a sideboard for this foyer, and I actually have a lot of trouble with foyers. I really do need to make some collections that, for each kind of room, and it has the stuff that I tend to, that are my go-tos for that kind of room. So I usually always put a sideboard in a hallway or a landing or a hallway or a foyer. And yeah, this Taurox one here, I was looking for it forever and I finally found it. It's been a little while since I built in The Sims 2, so I do kind of forget where things are. Putting some lamps in the living room. I was playing around with that lamp a little bit. I think I've actually got to go in and take a look at it in Simpy because it had a weird texture on it, so I was kind of spinning it around to see why it looked the way it did. But yeah, I ended up settling on another lamp, putting in like a display in the dining room, changing the floor in the kitchen to something dark. Dark and busy is what I wanted, and there we go. That's what I chose. And the club room counters, which I actually really like, and it's a shame because I haven't really found many kind of extensions or add-ons to this set. I think there's like maybe one or two things, and one of those is a cabinet, which I have in the game, and the other is the fire alarm cabinet, which I also have in the game. But in terms of anything else, there isn't really a lot, but which is a shame because I think, in my opinion, for if you're wanting to make like a classic or a traditional styled home, then these club counters have some good swatches and recolors as well. I've got some good recolors for them, but I ended up going with Maxis swatches. I feel like, if you're wanting an old tacky build, then the Maxis swatches come to the rescue pretty much. Now the bathroom here, I'm just trying to think. Again, working with the budget, which isn't much. You can watch the funds actually in the bottom left. You can see it kind of hovers around, I think, under 5,000 for pretty much the entire build. Even when it starts getting low, that's when I kind of go on my hunting sprees looking for things to sell. Now, I was going to bring the club room counters or the club counters into the bathroom, but I couldn't afford to, so I switched them out to, I can't even remember the name of them now, and that was just on the screen before, but they are Maxis counters, and I just have some recolors for them. Right. Now, putting a mirror in there and all that other bathroom jazz. And here I'm actually, I think I'm going on a selling spree. Yep, selling some lights. Getting that moolah. I did sell one of the Beakers career rewards. They have I think it's the law enforcement career reward, and I mean, it feels a bit cheaty for them to have that because neither Cersei nor Loki are in their law enforcement career. So I get why it's in there because it's kind of like it ties in with the whole experimenting on nervous, but I mean, if I want them to have that object, then they need to earn it. And as far as I'm concerned, they haven't earned it. Maybe one of their ancestors did, but I mean, it just yeah, I would rather kind of earn that career reward. Career reward. Now putting a um, runner in the foyer there, and then for this little hallway, I go with another sideboard and a coat hanger. That's right, coat rack. Then just a light on the wall there, putting some lights around the place on the ground level. And then the lights for oh yeah, I was pretty confident with my saving in this build. I saved only a handful of times, in this build. This renovation took me about 4 hours. So yeah, I'm surprised I didn't save a lot more frequently. But yeah, I was feeling a bit ballsy. So now moving up into this room here, which I kind of envisioned as Loki's study. So I put a computer in there, and I wanted to put a mahjong table in there as well, but it just didn't really fit. So I mean, I couldn't put that in. So I mean, yeah, it doesn't go in there. Now you'll see that poor Nervous, I end up basically absolutely flushing his room of stuff. I think he ends up with just a bed in the end, a bed and maybe those lights and an alarm clock, I think, because yeah, I was just desperate for money. Yeah, so I'm looking at the mahjong table here, and just in terms of where it was going to go, it just did not fit. So I had to give up on that, I'm afraid. And so I just decided to put, some bookshelves, a bookshelf in there, and some chairs in front of the fireplace, and pretty much call it a day. Moving about those plants, make sure things are nice, looking for some stuff to go on the desk there, a light, and I come back and do some bits and pieces of clutter, because I didn't really do much cluttering, and then when I would find some more money or something to sell and I'll get more money, then I'll go and do a little bit of cluttering. So I kind of just do what I need to start with and leave the cluttering till very, very last, if I can. Now, in Loki and for Loki and Cersei's bedroom, I went with more of a lighter wallpaper. Well, I think that's actually a paint, but I'm trying to settle on a bed. I didn't want to go too expensive because they're not super rich right now. And then I was looking for kind of like a kind of a retro looking bedspread. Those paisley kind of ones are nice, but they're all only one color. I wanted it to be busy, so I wanted there to be like a lot of colors. So what I'm looking at here is the kind of style that I was wanting to go. So there's one there with that, it's got like that nice detailed pattern on the bedspread there. And for the end tables, I mean, yeah, went with basically the ones that match the bed. Now, in terms of like wood tones, especially I think in real life, but especially in Victorian times, I know it's so tempting to kind of have all the wood tones match, but it's very unrealistic, and it can kind of look, in my opinion, too uniform. Um, did I say it's not very? Yeah, I hope I said it's not very realistic, because it isn't very realistic. Very well, not too often anyway, you will see kind of rooms where all kind of wood tones match. There'll be different wood tones, but the wood tones will usually, I mean, if it's done well, they'll complement each other. So that's kind of what I was going for. I mean, I did want to choose some different end tables that had kind of different wood tones that would complement the bed wood tone, but I couldn't find any in the price range. So I just went with matching wood tones of the matching of the end tables that matched the bed. Right, so yeah, for the ensuite bathroom, and then I ran out of money, and what do you know? I found some wallpaper in the basement to sell. and that allowed me to buy a sink and a mirror. And I went with the cheapest bathroom. Yeah, the cheapest bathroom. We went with the broken bathroom stuff, or at least that shower. And then I come back and I end up going full broken bathroom, which is just it's kind of like a custom content set on Mod The Sims. It's such a good set. And I was only using it here just because I was running out of money. Money, excuse me, I'm cracking highs. Running out of money, and um, yeah, this room here, I end up keeping it empty. Um, there isn't really any use for it at the moment. I guess until Cersei and Loki have a child, then I will look at furnishing it. But I basically sold all the furniture. Well, at least I think I did. At this point I thought I had sold all the furniture in the room, but I hadn't. And there is a very pleasant surprise in that room that I haven't discovered yet, and I do discover it a little bit later on. But yeah, so the room's going to stay empty for now. I'm just working on this little bathroom here. And at this point, I was kind of like, ugh, like, I just don't know how well I'm going to be able to do this build with the budget. Um, yeah, felt like I had so much to do at this point, and I was on less than 1,000 simoleons. And now I started doing curtains. Curtains is sometimes one of the last things that I do. And so when I started doing the curtains and I was at, look at me, yeah, pretty much ran out of money before I'd even finished their bedroom. I was kind of getting, a bit like losing motivation. So sold their outdoor furniture, came back into the curtains for their bedroom and then the study. And then I was like, okay, well, I might just do the study and then that's it. I won't do anything else in terms of curtains. And then I'll basically say that this build is finished. But I did soldier on and just kept finding money for the curtains. So you could see that I sold some more furniture, more of Nervous's furniture. And yeah, I think I'm looking for more stuff to sell right here. Um, and then at this point, when I did that I was looking for more stuff to sell. And then I looked at the windows and I was like, nah, they got to change. Um, I mean, they're nice windows, and I've used them on some commercial lots, community lots, I should say. I've used them on community lots, and they do look nice, but I just felt like for kind of like a build that's kind of like a Victorian inspired gothic kind of castle, they didn't really fit. So I wanted these windows that have, and these are the kind of like an add-on to a Maxis window, the old world set. And I like the stone kind of frame, um, which complements the brick a little more. I did go with the VIP Deluxe. I think it's called the VIP Deluxe door to start with, but I ended up changing it to pretty sure this door here. I try and look for an old world door to kind of, because I guess the doors match the windows, but yeah, um the old world doors just looked too community a lot. They didn't look like they really. I mean, or like here, like a back door. They didn't. None of them really looked good for a front door on this type of house, in my opinion. Yeah, so finishing up the windows, and to my delight, these windows are actually a lot cheaper than the windows that I chose before. So I ended up with a bit of money to play around with after that. But then I decided to change the exterior wallpaper, wall texture, to be a little cleaner because the brick that is on the original build is kind of industrial looking rather than neat, or yeah, it just looks kind of, yeah, just didn't really fit the vibe that I was going for. And because I found that money, I'm just like, okay, yay, I can start putting some clutter in. And looking through my extensive clutter collection or deco decorative collection, which I can never find anything in. But yeah, having a go, finishing off some curtains. I really wanted to put like some books or something on this coffee table, but I don't really have any good like cluttered books. You could see one that I put down before, but that's a it's for like a it's functional, and I don't want the book piles on coffee tables to be functional. That's actually for another kind of shelf that it's kind of like a do-it-your-own shelf or bookshelf. A do-it-your-own, do-it-yourself, do-it-yourself bookshelf. um, and yeah, so I didn't want to use like put a functional book on the coffee table. So looking for a rug for the bedroom of the Beakers now. Loki and Cersei. Just went for this plain white one. I was like, okay, I'll try and put a tiny bit of clutter around here. So went with some shoes and then an electric toothbrush for the sink, some toilet paper, and a bin. But I put in that mesh kind of little curtain there, and then ran out of money. So I decided to sell their Renew-Use. And then I realized that I have all of the old archways and interior doors that I could replace, or that I needed to replace, and I got some more money from that. The doors that I settle on, I don't choose these ones. Yeah, the walnut door is what I go for. Some white walnut doors all around the house. And then this is when I you can see I just discovered that tapestry. Now, I said there was something in that room that would be a pleasant surprise, and I found it was that tapestry that's, I think it's nearly 5,000 simoleons. So I found that, and then I sold it, and I was like, heck yeah, like I've got so much more money now. And then I just went to town. Um, I really wanted to just redo this whole bathroom entirely, but I thought, you know what, I just don't want to go too far. I can come back and visit this again when they have a bit more money. But I did kind of move the sink that was in the Beakers ensuite into the that little turret bathroom, and then kind of gave the ensuite here a bit more detail, and so yeah, gave them a full-on like counter and sink, some clutter, and uh, a new sink. Yeah, new. Well, obviously because I put in counters. So um, putting some plants, a hairdryer, and what else have we got here? Oh yeah, that little washing basket. I was going to put a mop in there, but then I thought, nah, this little towel thing, but I couldn't find the right recolor, and then I just put some like makeup clutter in there. Lowered that towel rack down, and then moved on to the study, because at this point in the build I realized I hadn't put up any artwork, so I needed to start putting some artwork up to make it look a little more interesting. Artwork with a sideboard underneath just does wonders. So now I'm looking for something to put the phone on, because I don't think they had a phone upstairs, so there's a phone upstairs now. Looking for a mirror to go above the fireplace, and just cluttering up this desk a little more. I feel like I'm just so average with clutter. I've got so much clutter, but I just never know what to kind of do with it. So that's why I kind of need to organize my clutter a bit better. But it is quite time consuming creating collection files. That's what I mean by organizing it better, is making a collection file. It is quite time consuming making collection files. So I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I mean, it definitely makes the process a lot easier. I have made one collection file that's like tiny of all my range hoods in the game, because I've got like, I think there's the Maxis one, and then I've got a few custom ones, but the custom ones are kind of all over the place. So yeah. Yeah, just adding some extra detail around the house, just kind of where things are looking bare. There's that little kind of pocket by the stairs that I didn't really do anything with. Now I'm putting in a bar and something behind the bar. I don't know if bars can be used on the diagonal. I hope they can. If they can't, then that's fine. Like, I'll just leave it there. Putting putting on that like tapestry on the wall behind there, and then looking to fill up this shelf. I'm also terrible at filling up shelves. I did struggle with this one quite a bit. I think it's just a matter of yeah, just really getting to know what I actually have in game and what kind of works well with what. So yeah, just put like a couple of little statues on there, and I was trying to kind of have something centered on the top shelf between the two statues, but I couldn't find anything, so I just left the two kind of griffin statues on there. Doing a little bit more detail in the kitchen, and yeah, it's like a pretty funky looking kitchen, but I mean, some kind of old kitchens were like that. And I do quite like playing with quirky styles and like, you know, busy patterns and stuff like that. I won't do it all the time, but they're quite fun to play with, just playing with kind of random colors. And yeah, just cluttering this up, adding in a shelf. And again, I was just like, oh my gosh, what do I put on this shelf? And in the end, I went with the coffee jug. The name was on it just before, but I really do need to change my computer settings because I'll be doing this voiceover and then my screen will turn off and then I have to like wake it up again. My screen just turned off, so I missed the name of what that coffee thing was called. Right, so moving back to the exterior and just doing some details with the terrain paint and adding a few bits and pieces of terrain, and we are coming to the end of the build. So if you are thinking, what the heck, this build is so bare, you've barely done anything, I know. Like I said, it's the money that they had, and as they earn more money, I will do more things with the house. All right, so moving on to some screenshots. Here's the before and the wonderful front door that they now have. No more open air archways. The old foyer and everything room. Now it's a dining room with a proper foyer and a living room. The old kitchen and the new kitchen. And yeah, I will just leave you to enjoy these screenshots. Thanks so much for watching this speed renovation of mine. My very first attempt at doing this on YouTube. Not my first attempt at renovating, of course, but first attempt at putting this on YouTube. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in another video soon, I hope. Yeah, see you later.